Imagine you are with a client and the discussion is going on. While discussing, the client finds out error in your work and you are sure that there is no error in your work. So the debate starts and eventually you get angry and you prove the client that he was wrong and you were right. Now, client had no option, client has to agree. And after agreeing, he said yes, and you come back to office and next week you realize the client has taken the project to some other vendor. Your manager is upset. And then you prove your manager that he was wrong. So your manager now do not know how to correct you. You reach home and on some discussion, at some point, your wife says something that you are not responsible, you are not taking responsibility of yours. The moment she says this, your anger comes out and you prove her that she is not responsible and you are very responsible. What do you think will happen if this is what goes on consistently? Well, let me tell you, with my marriage experience of more than 15 years and my professional experience of more than 15 years, both. Now what is the one thing will happen? Number one, you will end up losing your marriage. You will be at the divorce court. And in professional front, you will have difficulty to grow in your corporate career. And that is what exactly the situation was when one of my clients met me with this issue. He was struggling with anger and he met me up to fix this issue. So I sat with him and we realized that I have to create a coaching curriculum for him. So first and foremost, I have to understand the deep-rooted cause of anger, because anger is an outcome. It is not something which is happening automatically or by luck. There are certain things which if you do not take care, it will obviously come out as an anger. So what are the deep-rooted causes? Let me give you a couple of reasons that why people get angry. Number one, when they do not know to express themselves. So what happens when they do not know to express themselves? Things get piled up and eventually after one level it explodes. And once it explodes, you lose it. That means it is part of emotional intelligence. Second one is that people do not have emotional intelligence. They are not trained. I've seen a lot of professionals have tremendously high IQs, but when it comes to EQ, they are not trained. And that's the second reason people do not. Third, anytime a person feels his identity as at stake, then he will behave abruptly, and that's where anger comes out. So third one is identity crisis. Fourth, when people do not know the personalities of another person, they will have a different paradigm, and based on the paradigm, the reaction will come. Let me give you an example of that. Assume you're talking about something serious, and your spouse, at that point in time, rather than behaving at a sublime method, she is happy and she comes out of smile somewhere, and you immediately get hurted, man. Somebody is laughing at my pain. Immediately anger will come out. Now, it is just a paradigm. You are not having the full information. So these are the few reasons that people get angry. So I started working with him a curriculum. So what I found was, if anger has to go out, first and foremost, I have to train him in the direction of understanding people's personality and people's need. Once this happens, automatically paradigm will change. See, suppressing anger is not a solution. A lot of people try to do that. They try to suppress anger. I am totally not in favor of that. Never try to suppress anger. Rather, change your paradigm so that anger is not coming at the first place. So this is the first thing. Second, I have to train him in handling difficult situations. That is part of conflict handling. Third, I have to train him on the emotional intelligence. That you have to learn how to be emotionally intelligent so that you can communicate yourself well. And once this syllabus was created, it was around, we have to take 1 quarter each to help him out in 3 to 4 areas. And we started coaching him. One of the examples I'll give you what I did was, anytime he was in stress, I immediately told him one analysis that you try it out, you will see magical difference. Right on the case, let's say your wife said something to you and you got offended, you felt hurt. Then what you do is, that time don't react and don't say anything, take some time and think, why are you hurted? Immediately check it out. What was that system? What was it? Identity crisis? Was it ego? What was the thing which got triggered you? And once that is happening, write down the whole episode. Then start asking, see both the favor. You become a lawyer to yourself and you become a lawyer on your wife's behalf. Start writing, man, why is this said something? What was the intent? Then start thinking from her perspective. If she would be in her shoes, what was her context? Why she was laughing? And once you start doing it, chances are high you will start getting control over your emotion. This is one of the examples. And once you understand personalities of the people, just like my wife is a fun-loving personality and I'm quite serious personality. I don't take so much of jokes and all. But she is like, on serious situations, she will suddenly start laughing. And once she start laughing, I will like, what is this? This is not a topic to be laughing. But then, once I understand her personality, now I know if she's laughing, she's not laughing at my situation or something. She is She's actually a happy going person. That's okay. And that's great for me because I want my wife to be happy. But once you do not understand that, the same happiness will convert into a pain for you. And once it is in your side of pain, you will eventually pass on the pain to her life, and both of you will be in pain, and finally it will not be a happy marriage for sure. This is how I trained him up. Now, for you, I'll ask you the same question. Are you struggling with anger? Do you end up losing your temper at the wrong places? Then let me tell you, do not neglect it. These are the symptoms that as of now you are not trained in personalities, you are not trained in dealing with communication, and you are not trained in emotional intelligence. And these are not something small to be neglected. Just the way you are serious about your technical growth, do not underestimate this. I can tell you one thing. IQ 100 out of 100 and EQ 20 out of 100, eventually results will be pathetic. IQ 100 out of 100, EQ 70 out of 100. Now I'll tell you, you can do anything in your life what you want because now you have control of emotions and you're also very good in IQ. That is a success combination. Our school system trains us in IQ, everybody trains us in IQ, but very few people train us in EQ. And that is where coaching is needed. So if you are struggling with anger, you are struggling with emotions, then do not neglect it. Drop me a message. Let us have a virtual coffee. If I can help you out, it will be a pleasure of mine. It was great talking to you. I'll talk about the next case study in the next video. Thank you so much.